Have you ever wondered what makes a woman truly miss someone? Whether it's an ex you're hoping to reconnect with, a partner who seems distant, or even someone you're dating now, there's a special kind of magic in making her yearn for you when you're not around. Understanding this dynamic can transform the way you connect, creating a sense of anticipation and excitement every time you're together. In today's video, we're going to explore the psychology behind attraction, specifically what ignites that deep sense of longing. You might think the secret lies in always making her feel good, showering her with positivity, and being there for her no matter what. But if that were the case, why do so many nice guys, the ones who always try to please, often find themselves overlooked or taken for granted? Here's the truth. Winning a woman's heart isn't just about being kind or agreeable. Many men miss a crucial element of female psychology that's essential for building a lasting connection. This might challenge your current perspective, but stay with me. What I'm about to share can shift how you approach relationships entirely. Let's get one thing clear. Women don't just crave happiness in a relationship. They're drawn to a range of emotions. Think about why dramatic TV shows or compelling stories captivate so many people. It's not just about the happy moments. It's the twists, turns, and unexpected emotions that keep us hooked. The same principle applies to relationships. If a woman only feels one emotion when she's with you, even if it's a positive one, she'll eventually lose interest. It's like eating the same delicious meal every day. No matter how great it tastes, it eventually becomes dull. The key to making her miss you is creating an emotional journey, a dynamic experience that keeps her engaged and leaves her wanting more. This journey includes moments of joy, anticipation, tension, and even the occasional bit of discomfort. It's this variety that creates depth and intrigue, making her think about you when you're not there. Now, let's address some common mistakes that many men make when trying to create this connection. One of the biggest pitfalls is positioning yourself as her safety net. Let me explain. If you're always available, constantly checking in, or frequently texting her things like, "How's everything going?" you might think you're staying on her radar. But in reality, this approach can make you seem more like a backup plan than someone she genuinely looks forward to seeing. When a woman starts to view you as the guy who's always there just in case, she won't feel a strong sense of longing. Instead, she'll see you as predictable and safe, not the person who excites her or keeps her on her toes. To avoid this, you need to step back a bit. Give her space to miss you. Another common misstep is trying too hard to evoke nostalgia. For example, reminding her of past experiences, like saying, "Remember that amazing weekend we had in Hawaii?" Might seem like a good idea, but when it's overdone, it can come across as forced or even manipulative. Instead of sparking fond memories, it might make her feel pressured, as though you're trying to dictate how she should feel. People naturally resist this kind of pressure, just like we resist overly sentimental movies that try too hard to tug at our heartstrings. So, what does work? The answer lies in subtlety. The goal isn't to diminish your value by appearing overly eager. It's about creating moments of mystery and curiosity. For instance, instead of constantly checking in, focus on meaningful interactions. Share something intriguing about your day, or ask a thought-provoking question that sparks a deeper conversation. When you're not around, these interactions will linger in her mind, making her wonder when she'll hear from you again. Another powerful strategy is to maintain your own sense of independence and purpose. A man who has his own passions, goals, and interests naturally becomes more attractive. When a woman sees that you're fulfilled and focused, she'll respect you more and feel a stronger desire to be part of your world. The time you spend apart becomes an opportunity for her to reflect on what makes you unique, rather than a chance to take you for granted. In the end, creating a connection that makes a woman miss you isn't about playing games or following a script. It's about understanding the emotional dynamics that draw people together and using that insight to build a relationship that feels exciting, genuine, and lasting. So, take a step back, focus on the quality of your interactions, and trust the process. When you do, you'll find that she doesn't just think about you when you're apart. She truly looks forward to being with you again. Number 1, be preemptive. One of the most effective strategies for building a deep connection with a woman is being proactive, taking the lead before she even has a chance to start missing you. I like to call this a preemptive approach. Instead of focusing on how to make her long for you later, you focus on creating lasting impressions from the very beginning. This strategy works because it plants emotional seeds that will bloom even when you're not around. So, how do you put this into practice? Think of it as crafting emotional time capsules, small, meaningful moments that she'll carry with her. For example, let's talk about the power of scent. Smell is one of the strongest triggers of memory. If you choose a distinctive cologne, something memorable but not overdone, like a subtle Chanel or CK fragrance, you create a sensory anchor. When she encounters that scent again, whether in passing or by chance, it'll instantly remind her of you and the time you spent together. We've all experienced this before. A scent wafts by, and suddenly you're flooded with memories of someone special. It's a subtle, yet incredibly powerful way to leave a lasting mark. Another approach is to create unique, shared experiences. Inside jokes, playful banter, or meaningful conversations that no one else is part of can build an emotional bridge between you. By fostering these personal connections, you establish a private world just for the two of you. Every time she remembers those moments, whether it's a quirky phrase you came up with together or a meaningful story she only shared with you, it will spark thoughts of you. These techniques are especially impactful early in a relationship when you're laying the foundation, but they're equally effective later on. Even if you're trying to rekindle a past relationship, introducing a new cologne or revisiting an old shared joke can subtly reshape her memories of you. The goal here is simple. Create moments so distinctive and emotionally rich that they linger in her mind, no matter how much time passes. When you build this emotional groundwork, she won't just miss you when you're apart. She'll actively look forward to the next time you're together. Number 2, leave on a high note. One of the most important lessons in relationships, especially when you're trying to reconnect with a woman who has pulled away, is knowing when to end an interaction. Whether you're dealing with an ex or someone you're trying to reignite a spark with, the key is to always leave on a high note. This might seem counterintuitive at first, but it can make all the difference in how she feels about you afterward. Here's the thing. When she responds positively, be it through a text, a phone call, or even agreeing to meet in person, it's tempting to keep the momentum going. Many men think that by extending the interaction, they can deepen the connection and amplify the good vibes. But in reality, the opposite often happens. The longer you stick around, the greater the chance that the energy will fade, or worse, shift into an uncomfortable territory. Think of your interaction like climbing a hill. At the start, you're building momentum. Things feel light, engaging, and exciting. But if you linger too long, you risk going over the peak and into the downhill slope, where excitement turns into awkwardness or complacency. This is especially common when a guy feels emotionally vulnerable or deeply invested. That's when neediness can creep in, unintentionally of course, but it can still undo the progress you've made. Comments like, "Why can't we just give this another shot?" or pressuring her in any way can leave her feeling uneasy and ready to pull back again. So, how do you avoid this? Timing is everything. Make it a habit to end interactions while the energy is still positive and leave her wanting more. Set a mental timer for how long you'll engage and make sure you're the one to wrap things up, even if she initiated contact. For instance, if she sends you a text to check in, reply with warmth and have a pleasant exchange, but don't let it drag on. Be the one to conclude the conversation with a simple line like, "It was great catching up. I'll talk to you later." The same rule applies in person. If you're meeting for coffee or having a casual chat, watch for that high point, the moment when the connection feels good and natural, and end it there. This leaves her with positive feelings and a sense of anticipation, rather than feeling like the interaction dragged on too long. This simple yet powerful strategy is often overlooked, but when done right, it creates an air of confidence and mystery, making her think about you long after the interaction ends. Remember, leaving on a high note doesn't just keep her engaged, it keeps her excited for the next time you connect. Number 3, stir curiosity and subtle jealousy. The third strategy to make a woman miss you is mastering the balance between mystery and gentle jealousy. Many men approach this the wrong way, either being too obvious or too manipulative. For example, blatantly mentioning that you're going on dates or constantly hanging out with other women can come off as forced. Not only does it seem like an attempt to provoke a reaction, but it also signals that she still holds power over you. This diminishes your appeal and makes you seem like a fallback option. So, how do you get it right? The secret lies in subtlety, hinting at possibilities without revealing too much. When done well, it keeps her guessing, fuels her curiosity, and yes, stirs just enough jealousy to make her think about you long after your interaction ends. Here's what not to do. I've made the mistake myself of trying to spark jealousy by posting vacation photos with female friends, thinking it would pique an ex's interest. Instead, it backfired. She saw it as a blatant attempt to manipulate her emotions, which only lowered her respect for me. The key lesson: subtlety and authenticity are far more effective than overt displays of attention-seeking. Now let's talk about how to do it right. Imagine this. She's scrolling through your social media and sees a photo of you at a concert. There's no context, no tags, no indication of who you're with, just you enjoying the moment. Instantly, her mind starts racing. Who is he with? Is it a date? Is it just a friend? That ambiguity creates a sense of intrigue and plants a seed of quiet jealousy. Without ever stating anything explicitly, you've managed to capture her attention. Let me share an example. My friend Ken went to a John Legend concert with a male buddy after the guy's girlfriend couldn't make it. He posted a single photo from the event. No captions, no tags. The women in his circle immediately assumed he was on a date. The simple act of keeping things vague stirred curiosity and created a subtle emotional pull. You can apply this approach in your own interactions. If you're reconnecting with an ex or someone you're interested in, try mentioning an activity. Something like, "I went skiing last weekend," but don't elaborate on who you went with. If she asks, keep it casual. "Oh, just a friend." That little hint of mystery is enough to keep her wondering and thinking about you. Another clever tactic? The classic Appletinian beer move. The next time you're out at a bar or restaurant, post a photo of a beer and a colorful cocktail with a caption like, "Cheers to a great night." The cocktail subtly implies the presence of a woman, but you leave the details to her imagination. It's a playful nudge that sparks curiosity without being overbearing. The key to this strategy is letting her curiosity do the work for you. When you combine subtle jealousy with a sense of mystery, you create a space where she can't help but think about you. It's not about manipulation. It's about showing her that you have a fulfilling, exciting life that she might want to be part of. When you master this balance, you'll leave her wondering, intrigued, and eager to reconnect. Number 4, create a sense of competition. One powerful way to make a woman miss you is by introducing a subtle sense of competition. Now, this isn't about directly provoking jealousy or playing games. It's about gently shifting the dynamic so she feels she has to work for your attention. When a woman believes she has complete control over your emotions or feels that you're always readily available, her interest can start to fade. This is especially true after a breakup or when she's pulled away. If you're the guy who seems to be waiting around for her, you unintentionally reinforce her sense of control. That's the dynamic you need to change. Think about a time you felt you had the upper hand after a breakup. There was likely a sense of empowerment in knowing someone was still holding on. The same is true for her. When she distances herself, she assumes she has the upper hand and that you're still emotionally tied to her. But here's where the opportunity lies. When you subtly show her that her influence over you isn't as strong as she believes, it shifts her perspective. One of the most effective ways to do this is by immersing yourself in something new. Pick up a hobby, dive into a sport, or explore an interest you've always been curious about. For instance, imagine she reaches out to check in, and instead of finding you at home scrolling through her social media or moping about the situation, she discovers that you've thrown yourself into learning golf, traveling to new places, or exploring a passion for photography. This creates a competitive dynamic. She starts to realize she's no longer the center of your world. The truth is, many men fall into the trap of appearing stagnant during a breakup or period of distance. She might expect you to be stuck in a rut, waiting for her to come back. But when she sees or hears that you're out living your life, trying new things, and genuinely enjoying yourself, it flips the script. Suddenly, she's the one competing for your attention. Let's take it a step further. Imagine she catches wind of your exciting new adventures through a casual conversation or a well-placed social media post. Maybe it's a photo of you skiing with friends or attending a cooking class. She starts to wonder, who is he spending his time with? Is he having more fun without me? These subtle shifts in perception can spark a sense of longing and even regret about pulling away. This approach isn't about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about genuinely embracing new experiences and living your best life. When she reconnects with you, the difference will be clear. She'll notice the energy in your voice, the excitement in your stories, and the confidence in the way you carry yourself. Suddenly, the dynamic has shifted. What makes this strategy so effective is that it's not about making her jealous in an obvious way. Instead, you're positioning yourself as the prize again, someone who is thriving, growing, and creating a fulfilling life. By doing so, you're showing her that you're not sitting around waiting for her to decide your worth. The real power lies in flipping the narrative. You're no longer the guy she thought she could put on hold or come back to whenever it was convenient. Instead, you've become someone whose vibrant, exciting life makes her want to be a part of it again. That's how you create a lasting impression and keep her thinking about you long after the interaction is over. Number 5. Be unique. Stand out by being different. The fifth strategy to make a woman miss you is to stand out by breaking free from the predictable patterns she's come to expect. Over time, relationships often fall into routines. She might already feel like she has you figured out, how you'll respond, when you'll be available, and how you'll act in certain situations. This familiarity, while comforting at times, can also make you less intriguing. If she feels like she has all the power in the dynamic, it diminishes the excitement and mystery that initially drew her to you. So how do you change the game? By breaking the mold and introducing a fresh version of yourself. Start with your behavior. If you've always been the guy who replies to her texts immediately, take a pause. Let her wonder what's keeping you busy. If you're always available whenever she wants to hang out, mix it up by politely declining sometimes, even if you're free. This subtle shift will catch her attention and make her question whether she still holds the same influence over you. Another powerful way to stand out is through unexpected changes in your appearance or personality. For example, if you've always had a clean-shaven look, consider growing a beard. It's a small change, but it forces her to see you in a new light. Similarly, if she's used to seeing you in casual attire, imagine the impact of showing up one day looking sharp in a tailored suit. These changes make her take notice and spark curiosity about what else might be different about you. It's not just about surface-level changes, though. Embracing personal growth is equally important. Develop a new skill, pick up a hobby, or dive into something you're passionate about. Whether it's learning to cook gourmet meals, taking up martial arts, or becoming fluent in a new language, these new pursuits showcase a more dynamic and evolving version of yourself. They make her realize that you're not the same person she once knew, and that's intriguing. By breaking familiar patterns and presenting an updated version of yourself, you shift the dynamic in a subtle but impactful way. You're no longer predictable or easily categorized. Instead, you become someone she's curious about again, someone she wants to understand and reconnect with. These changes not only reignite her interest, but also reinforce your sense of self-worth and independence. You're showing her and yourself that your happiness and growth don't depend on her presence. Ironically, it's this confidence and transformation that often make her start missing you. Whether it's through a new look, changing up routines, or demonstrating your personal growth, the key is to keep evolving. The person she thought she knew is now someone exciting and unpredictable, someone she can't help but think about. If you found value in these insights, don't forget to like this video and share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories about how you've applied these strategies or how they've worked for you. And if you know someone who could benefit from this advice, feel free to share it with them. Thanks for tuning in to the Stoic Spirit. Remember, change isn't just about making her miss you. It's about becoming the best version of yourself. Until next time, keep growing and thriving.